about this man. Visionary, poet, artist, Maricio Sarabia. I met him at the Chinese theater. I was taking a bike ride, had my camera, of course, looking around to see if there were any interesting people. It might be good to take a picture of if they would allow it. And there he was. And I noticed him, and he saw me right away. He could tell I was looking at him, and we connected. And I smiled, and he could tell, I know he could tell that I was okay. And I asked him immediately if he would mind if I took a photo, and he didn't mind. He said yes. It was right there at the fabled forecourt where the footprints and handprints are of stars, including Marilyn Monroe and Hapo marks. I was worried about, offending him in any way, wanting to take his picture, but I knew this was my chance, and I was right. Turns out Maricio had what was called McCune-Albright syndrome, polyostotic fibrous dysplasia, a bone disease better known as elephant man's disease, in honor of Joseph Merrick, who was the legendary elephant man. Maricio had 8 surgeries growing up, and had been pronounced clinically dead after 2 of them. He was half blind, but fully alive. He'd had exhibitions of beautiful abstract paintings all over the world, beautiful poetry. He was a beautiful soul, and it shone through, though he was trapped in that body. And he had a beautiful mom, too, Marisa, who I got to know, who cared for him. And she was very special. She told me he was very sick for the last 3 months of his life. He died just months after I met him. And he suffered, but she said at the end it was peaceful. She said she really loved this photo and said it was a miracle because he is smiling. She said, but he could not smile then. His face was paralyzed, but he knew you, and he smiled with his heart. They had a beautiful funeral for him with his sisters and nieces and nephews and friends and Hollywood. And he was gone, and Marisa moved far away from Hollywood after his death to Uruguay. And though I actually did take this photo at the Chinese theater, in his honor after that, I placed it here in the painted desert because he was a wonderful painter. In his poetry and his painting was always the recognition of how fragile life can be with purity. He wrote, existence was but a mere drop of water falling on the deep blue oceans. Existence was but a mere grain of sand sliding on the deep, clear dunes. Maricio Sarabia, the Chinese theater.